Arise Year 2 stream at this time of day, at this time of year, at this part of the country, localized entirely within his Twitch channel. Yes. Howdy humans, hope you're all having a good day. We're here a bit earlier than usual. Right on cue, CC. Love it. Jinx. Well, I already have a soda and I'm not giving it to you. So, ha. Anyways, we're doing Ace Attorney a bit earlier today, simply due to the fact that, we got it later today. We're gonna be on Deadson's channel, just, doing some art with him today instead of, tomorrow, which is what we would usually do. So, there's a lot of me going around today, and we still got to stream tomorrow. But, before we do get into Le Ace Attorney, I do want to talk about something. I always post things on my Twitter, but I always like to talk about things here as well, because not everybody is on my Twitter. So let me preface this by saying, like, I'm not, like, mad at people. This is just a thing I wanted to, like, set precedent for beforehand, before anything else would happen. It was just something I wanted to, like, get to and just, like, clear the air about. So, discombobulate redeem. It's funny. It's funny. It's a good redeem. I like the discombobulate redeem. It is very, very funny. But, when it comes to, like, raids and stuff, redeems like that, just like in the, just like that, like really intrusive redeems that like inhibit like my ability to like speak, be heard, be understood, stuff like that. When it comes to like getting raided like during one of that, I'm going to be setting a precedent of me disabling that, just like turning it off so I can like properly greet the raid, because properly greeting the raid and stuff like that is just really important. I want to be able to properly thank the streamer. I want to properly introduce myself to all the new people, because we want to get new people in here, and we can't get new people in here unless I am being understood. Otherwise, they're just like, what is this bumbling idiot doing? Because they don't know the context behind the discombobulate meme. Behind that redeem. They don't know the context behind that stuff. They just see me talking like a fucking idiot. I mean, like, man, what the fuck is this content? More like shit. And, like, it just leaves a bad impression, leaves a bad first impression. So, should discombobulate be active during? Gotta lull them into a false sense of security first. Exactly. But yeah, when it comes to that redeem, if it's active, like, during something like a raid, I'm just gonna turn it off, like, briefly. Points will be refunded. Sometimes it's just bad timing. Though, from this point forward, if I notice multiple, like, very clearly, like, timed attempts at activating, like, redeems like that when a raid comes in, I am going to categorize that under the rule of being an ass and trying to sabotage greeting the raid, and that will result in a bonk of sorts. Nothing is happening right now. I'm not mad. Like I said, I'm not mad. There wasn't precedent. There wasn't a discussion about this kind of stuff. That's why we're having it now. Just something to keep in mind for the future. That's all. Oh my god, CC! The Fumos are so disruptive. What the fuck are you doing? Everyone's gonna fucking focus on them instead of me. These are the real stars of the show, and they show up on my shoulders. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way, get that talked about on stream instead of just on my Twitter, because not everyone's on my Twitter. Some people just look at my streams, and that's cool. You do what you want. So I just wanted to get that out and done and out of the way and out in the open. Before we got started. Now, with a triple legal team threat, I guess, let's go ahead and get right into the game. Let me actually pull up the game. There we go. And we'll turn off the music, good as that song from Utopia is. Weird how it says from chapter start for a new part of the case.
Ahem. Quadruple legal team threat.
Right. Lil Rye, you're the assistant. You're our Maya, you're our K. You're our true C. And depending on the circumstances, you are our Apollo or our Athena. Yeah, I want to try and get this case done today. I started really early so we could go for 3 hours because the Dead Sun stream will start at 9. I want a little bit of a break before I do a double stream, so yeah. What's this incredibly overpowering sweet scent? It smells like flowers. Tiny K! Uncle Bad, is this it? Isn't that Detective Bad and K over there? Looks like she managed to escape the bailiff. No, that's not quite it.
I'm a very good Trucy. I make jewelry disappear. Also hands.
That's my boy. That's my boy. Make more hands disappear. Maybe we'll upgrade the legs soon. Part of your training. Aw, too bad, but it's so pretty. I think you're still a bit too young to be wearing that. Since you found it, I guess I can let you keep it. Thanks, I'll treasure it always. Those two seem to get along rather well. Oh, here, I've got something else for you. Yay, thank you, Uncle Bad. Earlier, I ate one of these with Gummy. Gummy? Oh, you mean Gumshoe. Gummy is trying to be so nice to me because I was gonna get in trouble. And then he got in trouble because he lied to protect me. Gummy. I know he didn't kill Daddy. Don't cry. Faraday would be sad if he saw you crying. I'm not crying. Hey. Oh, it's the mister from before, and the lady too. Don't you think it would be a good idea to go home for the time being? You're not involved with the investigation, so it's for the best if you do. Actually, I'm Uncle Bad's assistant, so I'm related to the investigation. Francisca barely taller than Kid K, yeah, it's funny. Is that so, Detective Bad? Yeah, I guess. What? You were just scolding us like kids to not mess up the crime scene. And now you let this child run free? Why? People are free to investigate things outside of the actual crime scene. You also had a few things she wanted to look into. Got a problem with that? I don't have a problem with that, but I am curious as to what Miss Yu is looking into. Uncle Bad, I'm gonna go look over somewhere else now, okay? Alright, I'm counting on you. Oh, that's right. Hey, mister. What is it? I know Gummy really isn't the bad guy. I mean it. So please, find the real bad guy, okay? Don't forgive whoever did this. In the absence of the perfect piece of testimony and evidence, there's no one else who could be the true culprit other than Detective Gumshoe. She wandered off while I was pondering. She's gone. K just fucking like slips out the window like a cat through those bars. That'd be funny. Technically, we haven't gotten an investigation start yet, so... Detective Bad, what exactly was Kay searching for? None that concerns you, boy. Oh? And I suppose it has something to do with Kay. It does, because she's Faraday's daughter. Anyway, hurry up and get to the point. I don't have time to waste. Sounds like he'd rather be left alone. I have something I'd like to confirm with you once again. I don't have anything to say to you. His hand is so close to his head. Be that as it may, we still have questions that we need answers to. Now then, first of all, what is that overpowering smell that is permeating this room? Upon entering this room, I thought I was going to suffocate. It's that ultra-strong perfume you wear. She spilled some of it. I was having a bad time of it myself. I didn't think twice and opened the window. That smell's still here. Perfume, huh? So the sweet scent in the air is perfume. It's giving off quite a stench. I bet it's some cheap no-name brand. She said it's a famous brand from overseas. It's a knockoff. Yes, definitely a knockoff. No disrespect, but she forced one of those bottles on me. Here, little girl, you can have it. Franziska L. Only a foolish fool comes up with foolish presumptions regarding foolish perfume foolishly. I was born from a much more expensive and refined perfume. However, seeing as you just happen to have a spare, I suppose I'll take it. Miles Edgeworth, you will hold on to this bottle without fail. Why can't she ever be honest about her wants? Misused perfume. So now we have the perfume Miss U wears. Just fantastic. Let's take a look-see. Perfume given to Bad by You. Same perfume as the ones built in lobby number 1. Is that all you wanted to talk about? If so, I'm going back to investigate. Actually, I still have a few other things I wish to inquire about. Yeah. Let's see what we got. If I was successful, my sis would have been a little like Franziska. Successful is a word to use there. I don't think I want a Franziska who whips people running around in real life. I keep knocking my desk, my apologies. So you were in this room the entire recess. Like I said, I made a call to the precinct to get that big lug down here. Other than that, I was waiting for the recess to end in here. At least your story is consistent. Earlier you stated that you were in this lobby with Miss U. Yeah, I ran into her in the hallway. She said she wanted to talk to me about something, so we came in here. Personal success, not trying to turn her into an Ace Attorney character. I gotcha. I'm imagining someone just going up to their little sister like, here's your birthday present. It's a whip and like a fucking like prosecutor uniform. The same suit that Franziska wears with the puffy shoulders and shit. And here, there's even some really light blue hair dye for you. Some platinum cyan. You should try it. I'm turning into an Ace Attorney character, Gumshoe. Fucking based. Me and Miss U were in 2 different locations. Guess I am. Interesting. Speaking of that lawyer, she seems to have a great dislike for you. Ugh. Let's see. Miss U is the sister of the victim of the KG8 incident. As I recall, Detective Bad was the lead detective on that case. I wonder if the reason for disdain isn't simply because you failed to guard Cece, but because you were the lead detective on the case. You knew? I also know that today's trial involving the Kadobian embassy staff member is being referred to as the second KG8 incident. Now then, Detective, I believe it's time you were honest with me and told me the truth behind your relationship with Miss U and Mr. Faraday in the KG8 incident. You already know that much. I guess it'd be alright to tell you. Now then, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the KG8 incident. Not exactly a happy story, other than the people who were directly involved. You two will be the first to hear what I'm about to tell. Oh god, he took the cigarette out. It's a lollipop! I think that's the first we actually saw of it. The honest truth behind the KG8 incident. Faraday, you and I. As you already know, we three were involved with the KG8 incident. Faraday and I, we were originally on the trail of a smuggling ring. In the smuggling case involving one of the Amano Group's secretaries. That trial was just a front. A facade? Yeah, but the case became tainted. All because the witness who was going to testify at the Amano Group's ties to smuggling ring, CCU, was killed. And what became of the secretary who was arrested? His name was Colin Devore. Be honest, the guy don't know a thing about the smuggling. But I confess to knowing about it anyway. I was killed? Yeah, CC, you've been a ghost the whole time. Just chilling in my, chat. Possessed the keyboard, possessed a PC. And it just started typing. Actually, that sounds like a cool idea for a VTuber, actually. A ghost virus that possessed a PC and is now streaming on Twitch. That actually is a cool idea. Somebody do that. Somebody do that now. Shit, man, I picked the wrong concept. That shit slaps. Devore was probably being intimidated by the big boss man. Just another scapegoat. Boss man of the Amano. Can't seriously mean Mr. Ernest Amano. Can't be right. It's probably just Detective Bad's personal hypothesis. What's he trying to do, suspecting Mr. Amano of being involved with smuggling? I suppose it would have been quite difficult to secure an acquittal after he confessed. The man who killed CCU, Manny Cochin, was a completely different person. Since he's already been acquitted once of a murder. Mr. Faraday, how could you have let him go? I remember correctly. Oh, I heard from the Mr. Faraday had an important piece of evidence stolen from him. That wasn't Faraday's fault. It was mine. I wasn't vigilant enough. Faraday, CC, I was supposed to protect them both. Miss Yu didn't mention that as well, but her Detective Ban was supposed to guard her sister. But even I, who was supposed to protect them, I fell into their trap. What kind of a trap? The holes in this jacket are a testament to that trap. You mean you were fired upon? You were shot at that many times in one gunfight? No. Only about half of these are from that case. But the reason I continue to wear this jacket is to remind myself the lessons I learned from the KG8 incident. I see. Boom protects CCU. Suspect was found not guilty. I'd hit a brick wall as far as the law was concerned. That's when she came to the courtroom. Victim's sister. That's when I first met Callisto Yu. About when you first met Miss Yu. It was on the day the verdict of the KG8 incident was handed down, was it not? Sorry, I was just checking Discord real quick. Yes, Faraday and I, we apologized to her from the bottom of our hearts. That's all we could do, but... Just saying you're sorry won't bring my sister back, she said. She gave me a hard slap across the face. Honestly, so far, investigations has gotten, like, better as the game has gone on. It starts off pretty weak, pretty disorganized. I think the constant, like, flashbacks and flash forwards and all this shit really disoriented things, but as things start to come together, it starts to coalesce and, a lot more cohesive of a thing. Hopefully the final case lives up to what this is setting up, otherwise I'm gonna be kind of upset. Makes me very excited for Makes me very excited for investigations, too, whenever we play that. Well, she certainly had a lot of self-control to stop at just a slap. If it was me, not even 100 lashes would have been punishment enough. Is that her saying she would care if Edgeworth was killed? That's nice. That's sweet. I suppose not. You said it herself. That she never wanted to see either of us ever again. After that, you've seen her many times over, correct? Yeah, Faraday and I, even after the KG8 incident had come to a close. We continued to hunt down the smuggling ring and got involved in a variety of cases. But there's no use. We cracked so many different cases. The result was always the same. We couldn't find the real mastermind behind the ring. Is the ring really that big? It was in the pursuit of the ring that we met you once again. It was during another trial related to the smuggling. Faraday was the prosecutor, and I, as the lead detective, took to the witness stand. She appeared out of the blue as the defense attorney. Her client was related to the smuggling ring, and she was defending them. Yeah. You was pursuing the ring as best she could as a lawyer. I think she defended Rail this time for the same reason. Come to think of it, Miss, you did say something to the same effect. I have my own agenda. I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding the KG8 incident, alright? For that, you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer. Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. The only way I had to get close to Mr. L was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him. Ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. It doesn't matter what our reason is. Helping a criminal is just despicable. You're so naive, little girl. I could have stolen this lollipop from you. That's how naive you are. How dare you insult the daughter of Von Karma? Just like us, you felt that she had hit the limit of what the law could do. That's all. The law is merely a tool. There's no limit to it, only the skill of its craftsman. You two are still too young. One day you'll know what I mean. But enough sidetracking. What matters is that we met you again in pursuit of the smuggling ring. That's all. So what was your relation to Mr. Faraday? We even seem to know Kay fairly well. I met him when he was a rookie prosecutor. Known him ever since. And Kay, I've known her since the day she was born. Faraday and I cracked for quite a few cases together. You two seem to have made no progress at all in the Yatagarasu case. Be touch a nerve? I only have one thing to say to you. No one knew more about the Yatagarasu than me and Faraday. That's why I was called upon to testify in today's trial, to prove that Rail was not the real Yatagarasu, which I would have done if he hadn't turned around and accused Faraday. After the accusation, I was asked to testify, but this time, to prove or disprove the accusation. But I guess I won't be doing that either. Sense that there's more to that statement than meets the eye. It's a bit more digging in the Yatagarasu is what's necessary. And it don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming. You claim to know much about the Yatagarasu. Would you care to share what you know with me? What you two should be looking for right now is proof of murderous intent towards Faraday and Rail. I agree, which is exactly why I'm asking you about the Yatagarasu. But the KG8 incident and the second KG8 incident, both of these cases are tied to the smuggling. and in both of these cases, the witness who was to testify about the ring was murdered. However, there is one point in which they differ. That is the presence or absence of the great thief Yatagarasu. Mr. Rell claimed to be the Yatagarasu. However, in the middle of the trial, he suddenly declared Mr. Faraday to be the real Yatagarasu. Then, during the recess, they were both killed. Don't you find that to be the least bit odd?
Miles Edgeworth, stop beating around the bush and just spit it out already!
I believe that there must be some reason that the two men suspected of being the Yatagarasu were both killed at the same time. A reason, huh? So, in order to catch Mr. Faraday's and Mr. Rell's cold-blooded killer, I feel I need to learn as much as I can about the Yatagarasu. It will help you solve this case.
Then I'll tell you. I'll tell you the reason why we've never caught the Yatagarasu. What was that sudden outburst for? You almost made me whip you by accident.
Yo! It still accidentally whipped me anyway. There are three main reasons why the Yatagarasu will always be one step ahead. First, the Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target armor. Second, the Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. Third, the Yatagarasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind. Ever. I see. So those are the Yatagarasu's special traits.
Sounds like an incredibly elusive field.
Yatagarasu have never been caught on tape, never tries to draw anyone's attention, and would never do something as lowbrow as commit murder. That's how I knew that Rell wasn't a real Yatagarasu right away.
You can't use that sort of logic on its own to prove that he wasn't.
Listen, little girl, I'm not done talking yet. What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police, and the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kadopian emissary, the Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu sent the evidence. Until now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. Not this time. Evidence this time, something only Faraday and I, and a select few others knew about. In that case, how can you be so sure that it was the Yatagarasu who sent it? That's easy. Special card that only the Yatagarasu uses was attached. That's how I can be so sure. Just what sort of card is it? Here, take a look at this article. Whenever the Yatagarasu wants to publicize something, a white card is sent along with the stolen information. But when we questioned Rell about what was sent along with the white card, Rell had no idea what it was. And that's how Detective Bad knew that Mr. Rell was a phony. Thank you very much. I have a much better understanding of the Yatagarasu now. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes. His Honor would like to transfer the evidence from today's trial over to you. So if you could please head over to the courtroom, it'd be much appreciated, sir. Understood. I'll be there shortly. Detective Ban, what does the law mean to you? Finding the answer to that question is the only reason I'm still alive. I became a prosecutor to find the answer to that question myself. Play a part in ensuring that all criminals everywhere are found guilty. Oh, true, Mr. Edgeworth. Here's that his honor is still a bit dispirited. For the first time today, I experienced what it's like to stand at the witness stand. I now have a greater appreciation for just how hard it is to give testimony.
Well, there's no reason for you to be all depressed about it, Your Honor. As a judge, no one expects you to think about anything other than the verdict.
Francisca, there is no need to further depress his honor.
But I'm not trying to, Miles.
Your Honor. Your Honor, I've come to collect the evidence that was to be transferred to me.
Your Honor, the evidence? Your Honor! Oh! Yes, can I help you? I'd like to collect the evidence now, sir. Your Honor, do you think you can stay focused long enough to at least do your job? Yes, I'm sorry. And I would, except that the defense attorney has yet to arrive. She's busy with the investigation, so let's keep this brief, shall we? Very well. In that case, please confirm that all pieces of evidence are present. Furthermore, the evidence that was used in the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell are also included, so please go ahead and use them in your investigation into the case. Understood, Your Honor. Pieces of evidence that were used in the murder of these two men. This could be a very good chance for me to find new leads regarding the case, and maybe even something that would finally lead me to the truth. I placed all the evidence over at the prosecutor's bench for you. I see. Thank you very much. I'm going to confirm that they are all accounted for. Let me do a save real quick. We've had a lot of dialogue. A lot of dialogue. I don't want to risk having to go through all of it again. Save point. Okay. So this is the evidence related to today's Cadopian Embassy trial from Mr. Faraday's bag. In the evidence bag that was on the table in lobby number 2, right? Yes, fine. Now take a look at the evidence itself, not just data about them. Be sure to thoroughly examine them when we have the time. Agreed. I want to take a good look at all of the evidence from the embassy murder too. Why is that? Because I still don't fully understand what today's trial was about. Don't point your crop at me because you don't know something. And don't you try to order me around just because Papa chose you today. See, someone is still sore about not being picked by Mr. Moncana. It's also real to see the knife up close. So we have the knife, the gun, an envelope, and what's this organizer doing? Oh, that's right, I completely forgot to tell you. About what, Your Honor? I found Mr. Faraday's personal organizer inside that evidence bag of his. Detective Bad requested to be passed along to you. He said it would help the investigation. Detective Bad said that. What a strange stroke of luck. Hell, never looked a gift horse in the mouth. You might as well flip through it too. Won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Alright, let's see what we got here. This gun was originally used to kill the Cadopian Embassy staff. The crime was reported. The responding police found Mr. Rell still holding it, which led to... got a bit of a burp. Which led to his immediate arrest. And then, this gun took the original shooter's life. How ironic. Indeed. Doesn't seem to be anything else we can learn from this piece of evidence. Let me see what you have. A knife! It's a knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. You would have thought that such a beautiful piece of art would be used for such a cool act. It's never crossed your mind that you used your riding crop for the wrong purpose. Mr. Faraday's organizer. It appears he was in the habit of using it. Looks like he wrote his strategy for getting Mr. Rell convicted down in here. I've collected the evidence I need to prove that Rell was the killer. Between the handgun Rell had on him when he was arrested and the surveillance tape, I should be able to prove that he was the one. It appears that Mr. Faraday honestly believed that Mr. Rell was the killer in the case. The sound of the handgun going off was recorded with superb clarity on the surveillance video. I also have evidence that I can use to prove Rell is not the real Yatagarasu. It would also appear that Mr. Rell has proof that Mr. Rell was not the Yatagarasu. No matter how he may try to play it, as long as I have the Yatagarasu's key, I can prove he's a phony. If I present it to him in court, it should clear everything up. And he apparently also has a very definitive piece of evidence. It's been a long battle. I hope that this will finally bring it to an end. Yes, I believe Mr. Faraday was well prepared to discredit any claim Rell may have had about the real Yatagarasu. He had a way to prove that Mr. Rell was the guilty party in the embassy murder. Its organizer is a clue straight from Mr. Faraday. I'll have to take my time and give it a thorough read later. Look, there's a picture stuck between the pages here. Appears to be a key. Rather ornate one at that. Just look at that design on the handle. Craftsmanship is superb. Could this be the Yatagarasu's key Mr. Faraday mentioned in his organizer? Yatagarasu's key? Detective Bad said something earlier. What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police. And the center was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kadopian embassy, the Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu sent the evidence. Until now, the Yatagarasu. Yeah, I know all this already. It has been probably like 10 minutes at most since we read all this. Let me skip. Mr. Faraday must have been trying to keep the secret key safe. As a prosecutor on both the Yatagarasu and the smuggling ring cases, that's to be expected. That's odd. What is it? Mr. Faraday didn't mention anything about a knife in his organizer. That certainly is odd. The weapon that was used to kill the Kadopian embassy staff member was the gun. If that's the case, then where did the knife that was used to murder Mr. Faraday come from? Isn't it obvious? It was brought into the courthouse by Mr. Red. It's the only logical conclusion, right? No, because it's not that easy to smuggle a weapon like that in here. Every person who enters the courthouse doors is checked thoroughly for contraband. Furthermore, the suspect was handcuffed, making it impossible for him to bring a knife as large as this inside. In that case, how do you suppose this knife ended up inside the courthouse? Need to think carefully here. There's nothing related to the knife written anywhere in Mr. Faraday's organizer. However, it is a fact that this knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Conversely, there is no one item listed in Mr. Faraday's organizer, and no one has claimed to have seen today. So in order to solve this mystery, I believe I will need to take another good look at the evidence. Miles Edgeworth, can I take the fact that you have yet to answer me to mean that you don't have an answer for me? Actually, I do know the answer, Francisca. Let's see here. That's the key. Just a picture of it. Handgun and the surveillance tape. I can't inspect the knife. What? Then what is it? One of the pieces of evidence we've been holding has been hiding a secret of its own. It was through this piece of evidence that the knife was brought into the courthouse. Maybe the evidence bag? Fountain pen. I'm just triple checking on my shit. There's nothing related to the knife written anywhere in Mr. Faraday's organizer. However, there's a fact that this knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Conversely, there is one item listed in Mr. Faraday's organizer that no one has claimed to have seen today. I guess the key? I guess? Yatakarasu's key, Mr. Faraday mentioned in his organizer. This is how the knife was brought into the courthouse.
Am I making any sense, Miles Edgeworth?
You just need to look a bit closer, Francisca, to see what I mean. Don't the color and ornamentation of the key's handle remind you of anything?
Do you remind me of the knife? It's such a different shape, though. I can't even get a good look at the key. I mean, the knife. That's a very different design on the knife. Yeah, that's my mood. That's my mood right there. That's a very different design on the knife, though. Unless it's like a sheath for the knife, and this goes on the key. That's the only thing I can think of. The letters? What about the letters? What letters? I'm confused. The Chinese. You're not making me less confused, CC. I can only suppose that it's a two-handled thing. One side's a knife and one side's a key.
Furthermore, even though Mr. Faraday mentions Yatagarasu's key, the only object we found at the crime scene is the knife.
You don't seriously mean to say?
It appears that you finally caught up. And yes, I do mean to say that these two pieces are in fact one and the same.
Well, that's impossible!
And if that is what you believe, we should soon investigate this possibility. Now then, let us examine this knife in a little more detail.
Oh, now I can look at the knife.
Weapon that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. The hand and the blade itself have beautiful designs worked into them.
Look, there's even a flower-shaped design in the gold section here. This hadn't been used as a tool for murder. I'd want it for myself.
She seems to be drawn to the embellishments. Too bad this isn't mine to get.
There we go. So I'm right, it's got a double handle. Or that. That also works. That also works. That's fucked. It is a little fucked. Also, hi, Circuit. Hope you're having a good day. I'm glad you were able to catch the stream today, even though I'm a little earlier. That means the other one is also a knife. It's a knife and a key. It's both. It's been an okay day. Well, I hope it turns into a great one.
So the weapon used to kill Mr. Faraday is actually the key to Yatagarasu stole. This piece of information is more critical than anything we've learned until now.
Frankly, I'm shocked.
Mr. Faraday only mentioned the key aspect of this piece of evidence in his organizer. Possible that even he had no idea the key was hiding a knife blade inside.
If that's true, who is someone who knew about the key to the knife trick? Would have killed Mr. Faraday.
Even among law enforcement, this key was top secret, looking for someone who knew even more about the key than even Mr. Faraday. And that the only person that could be is the one who sent the key in the first place, the great thief Yatagarasu. Maybe Mr. L really was the Yatagarasu. He was the one who killed Mr. Faraday. Isn't that one possible scenario? No, not really, especially since Mr. Faraday was absolutely convinced that Mr. L was not the Yatagarasu. Besides, as Detective Bad said earlier... But when questioned, Rail, yeah, I know. White card. You didn't know what the white card was. I see. Alright then. I guess the person who knows the trick behind this key is someone else, and that person's the real Yatagarasu. We finding the Yatagarasu? Probably not yet. I feel like that would be a 5th case thing. It seems that this key is truly the key to solving this case. Funny. I'm funny. Laugh, Franziska. Laugh with me. Bro, that's just, not being able to inspect the knife kind of impacted my ability to solve that. I don't know. Not the most fucked thing we've encountered, but like, a little fucked. A little fucked. I took a quick look through these documents before the trial started. Well, I wasn't even afforded the opportunity to skim it. I suppose I should explain it to you then. Yes, you should. Perfectly and in its entirety, if you please. Night of September 8th, an embassy staff member was killed in front of the embassy. The staff member died of shock due to being shot in the heart. I don't think that's how it works. I think if you get shot in the heart, you just die. I don't think it's shock. I think you just fucking die. Mackerel was brought in that night as a suspect and thoroughly questioned, because the murder weapon was found on him, for which he was arrested on the spot. Simpleton of a man, that's what he was. Actually, a Ukrainian soldier took a rifle bullet to the heart and survived. Well, I would assume you just bleed out. I would assume he got medical attention. I would assume the cause of that would be you fucking bleed out because your heart's not pumping blood. I don't know. I'm not a medical professional, so I'm probably wrong, but... Perhaps he was. For the weapon... Perhaps he was, for the weapon wasn't the only incriminating evidence we had. Some guy's just built different. Dead man wasn't built different. Sorrel was caught on an act on film by a security camera. He's an even bigger simpleton than I thought. I can't believe he didn't notice a security camera. The Ethiopian embassy security system is supposedly very well designed, and you've simply not been aware that there was a camera in the area. So, have you seen the contents of the video for yourself? Yes, the surveillance video the security camera took was played during the trial by Mr. Faraday. You can clearly identify Mr. Rell on it, even the sound of the gunshot was crystal clear. So the footage included sound, huh? I didn't think I'd ever want to see the moment of someone's death in real life. Me neither. That's odd. We're short one piece of evidence. And the piece that's missing is the surveillance video that was played in court. The surveillance video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go? Video showing the moment in which Mr. Rell committed the murder. Where could it have gone, indeed? Are you done with your inspection of the evidence? Yes, I'm finished. However, Your Honor, I am missing a single piece of prosecutorial evidence. Your Honor, were you derelict in your duties? What? No, I do not neglect my duties. What do you take me for? No, Your Honor, the most important piece of evidence in today's trial. The surveillance video is not amongst the evidence you laid out for me. I brought Mr. Faraday's whole bag with me from the crime scene. The tape is still somewhere at the crime scene? Something wrong here. Something about this missing piece of evidence. It would appear that for me to find the answers I seek, we'll have to pay another visit to the scene of the crime. Defendant Lobby number 2. Oh no. Oh no, he's here. That's Detective Bad, but who is he dealing with?
I've never seen that officer before.
So, did you find it?
No, not yet, and I've looked everywhere.
I see. Well then, please continue with the search.
Understood. I'll continue the search. The wolf. The wolf is here and I want him to go back to his pack. So you're the one running this show. Prosecutors like you shouldn't even be allowed at crime scenes.
How dare you? Just who do you think you are?
Damn, I wish we could have seen a full body sprite. I feel like he'd really rock that suit on a full sprite. He's already kind of rocking it here.
What was that all about? And who was that man just now?
Whether he was, I've never seen a more impudent officer in my life. It appears that time has come. Gentlemen and potential ladies who are lurking. The time has come for a 3-minute ad break. So, with this being said, this is a perfect time for y'all to grab some water, grab some snacks, and use the bathroom, do whatever y'all humans do. And we will be back in just a minute to talk to Detective Bad. So with all of that being said, bye for now. I think it was actually called Defendant's Milk the more I think about it. Anyways, howdy everybody. Hope y'all had a good break. Hope y'all got what you need done, what you need to get done. Hope y'all went and spent an exorbitant amount of money on courtroom food. Actually, you know, this reminds me. So, not everyone in my family is well behaved. And because of that, I frequently was at a courthouse when I was younger. And I always looked forward to it for the simple fact of going to the vending machine downstairs and buying and getting a Mr. Pibb. That was it. like someone in my family like being on fucking trial for some shit they did, and I'm just like, oh boy, we're at the courthouse. I get to get a Mr. Pibb today. Completely clueless. Tiny Ryos was a different breed, man.
I know you're standing right behind me. What do you want?
Oh boy, Mr. Pibb vacation. Yeah, literally. Meanwhile, my family member just wondering if he's going to jail today, and I'm just sitting here sipping on a Mr. Pibb, happy as can be, having no idea what is going on. Oh boy, we're going to the Mr. Pibb store today. Looks like you were paying attention after all.
Of course I was. I have eyes in the back of my head. So the mirror isn't for vanity's sake. For him to keep an eye on who or what is behind him at all times. So tell me, Detective Bad, who was that rude man just now? The guy came here from the Republic of Zangfa to study. He's Agent Lang. Trying everything he can to revive the lost honor of his family. He's traveling the world to study different philosophies of detainment from scratch. Visiting various police departments around the world, he has a lot of dedication. He's still just a rookie cop, but I sense a strong grudge of some sort from him. The guy's more useful than Gumshoe, even if he is rude. But he sure has a lot of guts to come to this country and give prosecutors a hard time. I agree, however, I can think of one young lady that statement also applies to. Anyway, what was that agent looking for, Detective Bad? Earlier, that little girl was poking around in lobby number 1 as well. Like I said before, I got nothing to do with the two of you. I highly doubt that has nothing to do with me. Fine, if this is the game I must play, then I will take this opportunity. Draw out what he's been hiding and what happened in this room straight from him. Dang, this is the first time we're seeing his back sprite. Neat. Earlier you were in lobby number 1, and now you're here in lobby number 2. You're quite the busy man, Detective Bad. Multiple returns to a crime scene brings about success. That's what detectives say. See, in that case, wouldn't you mind if I asked about what happened again, correct? I don't have anything left to say to you, boy.
Boy!
You'll see, I will draw the answer from you, one way or another.
Would it kill you to help us even a tiny bit in our investigation? Guys, literally all he's really done is help you. Like, actually. Like, think about it. Like, really think about it. He's done a lot to help y'all. Way more than he said he ever would. If you want people who are doing nothing to help you, go look at you. Not you, you. Guys. Like, literally, he's like, I ain't gonna help you. And then you're literally going up to him like, please, please help us, Mr. Detective Bad. We want to solve the case really bad. And he's like, okay, fine. And then he pulls out his fucking lollipop and tells you everything you asked for. Literally most competent detective in the entire franchise. Exactly, I like him a lot. Bad is probably my favorite character in this game right now. I love his design. I love his, like, actual role. I love his theme. This theme fucking slaps. I could listen to this on loop for at least an hour. He's awesome.
That's help enough, don't you think?
Please, we are just asking for a bit more of your cooperation.
Don't push me, kid.
How about the tape? How about we ask about the tape? Not the time of murder. How about we talk about the fact that the tape is fucking missing? I'd like to ask once again about what happened around here at the time of the crime.
I refuse to answer. Any more investigating you do would be a waste of time. Besides, how am I supposed to answer questions about things I don't know about?
Things you don't know about? Aren't you supposed to know everything?
Sure. Wait, is it possible? Maybe he doesn't know about the trick behind that piece of evidence. I should try sharing it to him. It may prove to be the key to getting some answers from Detective Bad. Detective Bad, did you know of the existence of the item in this photograph? Of course I did. It's my job to know everything related to the Yatagarasu case. In that case, let me ask you something. Did you know that the knife that killed Mr. Faraday and this Yatagarasu's key are one and the same? What? That's impossible. It looks like he didn't know after all. This piece of evidence, which we call the Yatagarasu's key, is actually a well-camouflaged knife. Mr. Faraday was planning to use the Yatagarasu's key to prove that Mr. Rell was not a real Yatagarasu. Isn't that correct? I guess so. However, Mr. Faraday had no idea that it was in fact a knife. Yeah, I have to admit neither one of us knew that fact. And if neither of us knew, then no one in law enforcement knew either. Oh, we missed something as big as this. Notice that since a little while ago, you appear to be searching for something. Presume that this key is what you were searching for. Yeah, that's right. Why were you searching for it? Because I promised Faraday. I promised that I'd protect that key with my life. But after he was killed, the key disappeared from Faraday's evidence bag. Who would have thought that the key is what took Faraday's life? Detective Bad, so that we may find the truth, please testify for me once more. Alright. But it doesn't matter how many times I tell you about what happened. Nothing will change. I fucking love Bad. Detective Bad, I ask that you please testify once more about what happened in lobby number 2 and what you experienced in lobby 1. My answer is still the same. And this is the last time I'm going to do this. That's fine, because I only need this one last time to clear everything up. Find the truth behind this case. Alright, let me do a save real quick. Yeah, I should wait till after the testimony, but still. Better safe than sorry. I was in lobby number 1, talking with you. We were talking about some trivial things. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. When we heard it, you and I immediately dashed out in the hallway together. I saw Gumshoe goofing around there, and then we all ran into lobby number 2. Sounds like the exact same story he told us before. Indeed, however, I feel we have yet to draw out all the information we can. Lobby number 1. Alright, let me look at our evidence. The handgun found in Faraday's hand. Bullet that killed Rell was fired from a few yards away. He's killed Faraday, a secret ability to change into a key. The Yatagarasu sent.
the gunshot right before the trial was about to start again. Promise notebook. Let's use perfume. Mr. Faraday's organizer. Something just hit me. So first off, we can smell the perfume through the window in lobby number 2. It's very strong. I'm wondering if that was a sort of signal for whoever actually did the murder. That was just something that hit me just now. I'm not sure when we'll get to implement that, but I'm sticking with that theory right now. But a strategy for winning. Alright, let's see here. Talking with you. We're talking about some trivial things. Let me ask about those. I was hoping you could expand on what exactly we're discussing with Miss Yu. Trivial stuff. It was nothing important. That's for me to decide. Right, I suppose that's for him to decide. Moving on, then. That was funny. Until you heard the gunshot, did you notice anything else that was out of the ordinary? I didn't hear any other strange sound until that gunshot. Gunshot Detective Badhood was relieved from the one from the murder, but give that one other piece of evidence an entirely different meaning. I ask that you please amend your testimony with that statement just now. Sure. I didn't hear any other strange sound until that gunshot. Detective Bad, does this balloon fragment remind you of anything? It's the same color as the one Kay was holding. Oh, so you knew about that girl's balloon? Yeah, I was sitting with her up in the gallery. During the recess, just before we split up, I filled that balloon up. That's adorable. Well, as you may have already surmised, this piece did indeed come from Kay's balloon. So, what about the balloon? I wonder if you might remember hearing this balloon pop at some point. What are you getting at? This fragment was found in the hallway, right in front of hallway number 2. Furthermore, it was the sound of this balloon popping that the judge mistook as a gunshot. Oh? So the sound of the judge heard was not actually a gunshot, huh? On top of that, His Honor said that he heard the balloon pop about 20 minutes before the trial was to reconvene. Yes, which means that His Honor heard the balloon pop in the hallway. And you were in lobby number 1, Detective Bad. If you were in lobby number 1 at that time, you were close enough that you should have heard the balloon popping as well. So? Don't give me a so. We just proved that there was a flaw in your testimony. Crackling of the truth is louder than the sound of your sweet naivete crack. Since you kids don't seem to know, let me fill you in on something. Did you ever stop to think why the doors and walls of this place seem so rugged? That's because they were designed to keep secrets from being leaked. What is that supposed to mean? The doors and walls are super thick. The window panes are double layered. When you top it all off, even the curtains are made of a special sound-absorbing material. Then you mean... Since I was shut up inside lobby number 1, there was no way I could have heard that sound. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, CC. He heard the gunshot. Knew that's what he was going to say. And that means Scott Freight's testimony is completely useless. If the room's all soundproof, then of course you wouldn't hear any sign of a struggle. That's also why it's only natural.
I didn't hear the balloon pop, but now do you get it, kids?
Miles, I thought we were supposed to be the ones finding flaws in his logic. Not the other way around.
The way around? It's not possible to hear the sound of a balloon popping if one were in lobby number 1. However, we examined this situation in reverse. The person standing in the hallway should not be able to hear the real gunshot either. Yet Detective Kamshu claims to have heard it while standing in the hallway. Detective Bad, that is the case. How exactly did you hear the gunshot? What do you mean, how? I just did... But up here, I do have yet to realize the contradiction in your own words. Oh? How so? Rooms are as soundproof as you say they are, and how did the sound of the gunshot enter your ears? I see what you mean. I guess I'm more out of it from Faraday's murder than I had thought.
Which means what exactly, Miles? In the end, what does it all boil down to?
It boils down to this. There must be a reason as to how Detective Bad and Gumshoe heard a gunshot they theoretically couldn't have. Looks like we need to examine the state of the crime scene again, huh? The state of the crime scene? Wait, can it be? It's that ultra-strong perfume you wears. Spilled some of it.
Finally, I get to do it, I get to do it, I get to do the thing, I get to do the thing, I get to do the thing.
The window is literally open, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Detective Lobby number 2's, it looks like it was set to an incredibly high volume. Where did it go? Alright, let's start with this. It's simply not possible for the killer to have escaped through barred windows. Yet the fragrance of the perfume managed to escape from defendant lobby number 1. Of course, incorporeal things can freely move through these open, barred windows.
What?
Aw. Alright, fine. There we go. Now then, what else besides the smell can go both in and out of an open barred window? The answer is sound. So no matter how careful the killer was, if the windows were open, the chick would be up. Since the windows in both defendant lobby number 1 and the hallway are open, it explains how the sound of a gunshot could be heard in both locations.
Now that I like. I didn't think about that.
Mr. Rell killed the embassy staff member. The sound of the gunshot left quite an impression on me when it was played during the trial. Video should have returned to Mr. Faraday's evidence bag for the recess. Brought back here. Disappeared after that time. It's possible that the tape is still here in this room. Eureka! The evidence that the missing evidence created for me is the gunshot sound that no one should have been able to hear in the first place.
Miles, what have you been thinking about? Stop wasting time thinking and let's start looking again.
It's not a waste of time to think, for I figured out where we should look.
And where would that be?
I believe we should examine the television. The TV? Well, you kids have fun. Go ahead and examine whatever you like.
Oh, I'm getting excited. I'm getting excited.
The video player, and there seems to be a videotape inside. It looks like it. The tape must have stopped on its own when it reached the end. This tape, could it not be the missing surveillance tape?
I suppose, but
Detective Bad, would it be alright with you if I verified the contents of this video? Sure, knock yourself out. Alright, let's rewind this and see what we have. If I remember correctly, the footage of Rail killing the embassy staff member would be at about the 30-minute mark from the start of the tape. Understood. Should be about right. Now then, let's see.
Yeah, this is
This is the footage of Mr. Rell shooting the embassy staff member. I knew it. The missing piece of evidence, the surveillance video, was here all along. This sound. What's the meaning of this? Here's that Detective Batters figured out the true source of the gunshot he heard. With this, I think we can figure out the trick behind this double murder. Do you mean that you figured it all out, then? Yes, all I have to do now is show what the gunshot Detective Bat and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it from. Fine, in that case, show me what you've deduced. And through where they heard it from. Oh, I like all this a lot. Oh, that is, oh, I like that. I like that. I really, really like this. Oh, that's, This is why I play these games for, seeing this kind of shit unfold. Oh my god, little Franziska is adorable. She is adorable and still just as aggressive. Howdy, Corey. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good time. Hope you're having a good day. Just had a... just saw a lot of evidence come together and all at once. It was beautiful. I didn't predict it. I wish I did, but I feel like I could have predicted it. And you know what? That's what I really like in like games like this in general. When it all does come together, you can see like everything. You could see like you could have predicted that. I love it when that happens. Lovely. Killer could have used the gun and no one would have been the wiser. It's true, this courthouse does seem to be about designed for such a thing as a crime. However, what happened in reality was Detective Gumshoe, Detective Bad, and Miss You, all three of them heard the gunshot. Hell, the windows in lobby number 1 and number 2 in the hallway were open. So naturally, the people in these locations could hear it. Ah, but then why would the criminal open the window in the first place? Yeah, it's always a good feeling when everything clicks. To allow the gunshot to be heard, I suppose. Correct. That's the only logical conclusion we can draw from it. Why was that necessary in the first place? I want a real answer, Miles. I demand satisfaction. Very well. I believe that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of a certain fact. What was it that the killer wanted to manipulate the perception of? The killer wanted to fabricate the time of death to precise wishes, and they used the gunshot in the surveillance video to do so. So that's why the tape was left running. You mean the gunshot I heard was from this video? Yes, which means that the murders really occurred at an earlier time than you thought. Must have been then during the recess, but before Detective Gumshoe was on guard duty. Someone who has no alibi for that time period. And the time this crime happened in events, that person is the real killer. This begs the question, though. Who opened the window in defendant lobby number 1? I want to find out that information. Because the killer could have opened it in defendant lobby number 2. Assuming they got in there. But somebody had to go into defendant lobby number 1 and open that one in front of Bad and you. And I doubt and there's no way it was Bad. And also have the one in the hallway open as well. Bad said he opened the window. Ooh. But because of the perfume, he wanted to air it out. I think. That would be why he opened the window, let's be honest. Yes, what is it? Miss Yu is asking for you. She's in the courtroom. She says she's identified the murderer, but she wants to clarify something. Looks like Miss Yu is still investigating something. Understood. Please tell her that I will be right over. I'll come along. I want to hear what she has to say. It would appear that the time has come to uncover the truth.
Oh, I'm excited, I'm excited, I'm excited, I'm excited. I really like this case. This is a top tier case. Just in the series in general. We've had a lot of mid, so I'm glad we're getting some peak right now. Not case 5, by the way, I know. And I'm pretty confident that, yeah, case 5 is not going to be that amazing.
Okay, what are you doing here?
Oh, hello, mister. I'm still investigating.
The object you're looking for is already... Okay, don't mind him. Please continue with your investigation.
Okay, you got it.
Detective Bad, haven't we already found what you were looking for? Means I can keep her in the dark just a little longer. Any little task will do.
Oh, you're more sympathetic than I thought. Oh, yeah. I like this. I like this. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love this. I love this. Peak, it's peak, Your Honor. It's fucking peak. Where's the judge? I need to tell him.
I've also been waiting for the moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest.
The moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest. Wasn't that when we placed Detective Gumshoe under arrest? I think we more than solved this case already. Don't you?
We'll see. It all depends on whether or not your logic holds.
Oh, I see we have a viewer in the gallery, and why, even Mr. Bad is here.
A viewer in the gallery? I'm hardly just a bystander. I have a duty to see this case through to the end, no matter how it turns out.
Oh, is that right? Anyway, I thought you might like to hear what I've slaved away to find out. I've already taken statements from every single person's movements. During the time when our suspect was in the hallway, I also confirmed that there is no possible route of escape from lobby number 2. Therefore, the killer must without a doubt be Detective Gumshoe.
And that's all you have?
Yeah, that's all there is to my conclusion, and this case.
Sorry, but I beg to differ. In a trial, there is always time for a rebuttal, and we are standing in a court of law. I'd be more than appropriate to follow the rules of court in this case, don't you?
I'm absolutely like a rookie to think such a thing. But alright, I'll play along and give you a proper testimony.
Logic is correct, and I've already won. All I have to do now is to prove it by showing who the real killer is.
Everyone, sans Undertale, the suspect has an alibi for when the gun went off. Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, right? I also confirmed that there is no possible escape route from lobby number 2. This is just one unshakable conclusion that Detective Gumshoe is the killer. Now you have your testimony, I expect a good rebuttal, Edgeworth.
But of course, there's no need to confront her logic head-on right now. Should instead focus on drawing out any trump cards she has up her sleeve.
An alibi for when the gun went off. And the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, right?
Whether they have been thoroughly investigated, now is not for me to decide.
The scrunched eyebrows and the lines on your forehead are back. Anyway, even if you believe it hasn't been exhausted, the crime scene, lobby number 2, has no way out other than the hallway Detective Gumshoe was standing in. Because he claimed to be there, that makes him the only possible suspect.
But isn't it also possible that someone else got escaped through a window and into the garden?
That's the first place everyone looks silly. The police aren't a bunch of lazy bums. They looked into every possibility, you know. Isn't that right, Mr. Bat?
Yeah. There wasn't a scrap of evidence to suggest someone used one of the windows. There also weren't any footprints or anything in the courtyard garden. I suppose they really did check everything they could to be relevant to this case.
Looking at my evidence. You gotta draw out that the killer, clearly there was like, but then the stab wound. Someone had to get in there to organize the crime scene in that way. Fucking locked room mysteries, man.
Hold it.
Are you absolutely positive there are no possible routes of escape? Of course I'm sure. Why are you so certain? This is a courthouse, the place where criminals are brought to be judged. If we were an escape route, I'm sure every criminal would be using it to escape. Just common sense. Miles Edgeworth, I suggest you use a bit more of it in the future. An unshakable conclusion that Detective Gumshoe is the killer. You may think it's unshakable, but to me there are still too many unanswered questions. For example, who was it that placed the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand? You're the only one still wondering that! Detective Gumshoe probably had no idea which hand Mr. Faraday used to write with. Even if you know someone, it doesn't mean you'll know which hand they write with, right? I mean, I certainly don't care about that sort of thing. Not about the letter get a rise out of me with such a flippant statement. Besides which, the first order of business is to press her for more information out of her. Suspect? But I thought that Detective Gumshoe's alibi had already been proven. Joking, Edgeworth? I assure you this is no joke. Look, I know you heard from the judge earlier. That detective was in the hallway with Mr. Faraday's daughter eating a Swiss roll. Yes, that is correct. But see, that was 20 minutes before the real gunshot went off, right? And the problem is there's no one else who can corroborate what he did since the snacking. I see she's done her research well. Suppose we've really reached the end now. Already have my trump card ready. All that remains is to play it. Before I do, I think I should inquire into a little something about her argument. You said earlier that you confirmed the alibis of every person other than the suspect. However, I don't recall either Francisco or myself speaking with you about the subject. Ah, but there were witnesses. For you, there's your mentor who gave you an alibi. As for the little Missy, she came to the courthouse during the recess and was stopped by a security guard at the door to the hallway. She gave him quite a whipping for that, or so I heard. I'm the daughter of Manfred von Kama, and I will not be forcibly stopped by a guard, or a bailiff, or anyone else. Wait, so basically the only reason Francisca borrowed to show up today is because she found out that I was the replacement prosecutor? By the way, Miss Yu, what about everyone's alibis before Detective Gumshoe was assigned to guard duty? What about them? Have you looked into what people were doing during that span of time? What kind of idiot do you take me for? Doesn't matter when the killer went in lobby number 2. From the time we heard the gunshot, to the time Mr. Bad and I arrived on the scene, as we dashed from lobby number 1, the only person who could have committed the crime was Detective Gumshoe. Yes, let's talk about when you and Detective Bad heard that gunshot, shall we? I suppose that if we go by your logic, then the Detective Gumshoe is the only one. However, what if the crime had occurred at an entirely different time than when the gunshot you heard went off? What then? That gunshot was a trap meant to manipulate our perception of when the crime took... I still hate your objection. Sadly, your explanation is very lacking, Edgeworth. The gunshot we heard in lobby number 1, care to explain how that could have been fabricated?
Take that!
That tape! Yes, it's exactly what you think it is.
This is the surveillance tape of Mr. Rell the prosecution presented in today's trial. This was found loaded in the video player in lobby number 2. It was connected to the large television that had its volume turned all the way up. You can't honestly mean that the sound we heard was a gunshot in the video. Ah, but I do. Which leads me to my next point. The murders occurred much earlier than when anyone heard the gunshot. That's the only thing I can think of, too. After committing double homicide, the killer took the surveillance video out from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag, turned the television's volume all the way up and left the video out to play. It played from the beginning. It would take 30 minutes for the gunshot sound to come on, and since we now know this method of time manipulation is possible, it opens up the possibility that the killer is someone other than Detective Gumshoe. Sounds from a television doesn't amount to much here, but of course Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth and Little Miss Von Karma already knew that much from the very beginning, right? Of course we knew, didn't we, Miles? Yes, of course. We know about the soundproof quality of this courthouse rooms. Of course, I'm not about to admit we had no idea until only a little while ago. That's right, and if the rooms are soundproof, then we should not have been able to hear it. And yet we heard the gunshot clear as day. And? That's it. End of story. But it's not. How should I explain why she was able to hear a gunshot from a soundproof room? There is actually one common point between lobby number 1 and lobby number 2. Is that despite the fact that both rooms have air conditioning, a window was open in each. Now, we know that the window in lobby number 2 was opened by the killer, but a window in lobby number 1 was also open. It's probably just coincidence that they were both open at that time. It was no mere coincidence, I assure you. How was the window opened in lobby number 1? The answer is that a certain person did something that caused the window to be opened. The person who triggered that action, that person is the real guilty party. I mean, she could have gone into the room between that. When did they say that Gumshoe went to... When did we put Gumshoe on guard duty? Was it in that 30-minute window that could have been possible? Regardless, I'm accusing you because fuck her. It's Callisto you. I hereby formally indict you of the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. What? You indict me? Are you serious, Miles? Why do you think she is the killer? I don't understand her motive just yet, but of course I'm serious, because she is the only one who could have done it. Well, Miss Yu, do you still feel like laughing now? Of course I do, Mr. Edgeworth. Indict? Fuck you. If it wanted to be indict, it wouldn't be spelled like indict. I fucking hate English. Although I never thought things would spiral into this, but I'll have you know I'm enjoying this dance quite a bit. I guess this means it's time for my own rebuttal now, right? Hey, I don't make the rules. Did anybody really make rules? You argue that the window was open. However, do you have proof it was I who did that? Furthermore, do you have proof that the tape was used in committing the crime? Frankly, I'm shocked you are going around accusing people of murder like this, especially with logic full of holes as yours. Where it really starts. I mustn't let my guard down for even a second, or the truth will blow away. It's the time to put the patented Von Karma perfect proof to the test. Waiting for the save. I've said it once. I've only said it once, but I'm going to say it twice because that's iconic. Pressing is for pussies! Man doesn't have that Von Karma confidence. I have the confidence. The game just punishes me for it. Also, my lip syncing went off of the rails there. Whatever. I'm sure you've seen this before, haven't you, Miss Yu?
Edgeworth, I never you were into wearing that kind of perfume. Not exactly what I'd recommend for boys, you know? Minor grammar mistake. Minor grammar mistake. I'd, in all caps. Unless she was emphasizing it, in which case it's not a grammar mistake. But you know what? I'm keeping with the joke here. Funny. Well, this isn't mine. That's right, it's mine, and I received it from Detective Bad, you see. Monsieur, you can pretend all you like, but we know at least this much for sure. That this bottle of perfume was given to Detective Bad by you. Because it gets really strong really fast. So, what about the perfume? Well, you were in lobby number 1. You made a big show of spilling some of this perfume. That's according to Detective Bad. Oh, I know. You also know that if you spilled it, he would naturally move to open a window. Come now, I've already told you that's all just a big coincidence. After we opened the window in lobby number 1, I just left it open, you know? So maybe it was just dumb luck that we heard the gunshot through the window. The timing of when you were going to spill the perfume is something you could control. And the most important fact about this case is when people were made to hear the shot. Furthermore, it would have been pointless if you didn't have an alibi for yourself at that time. You mean? Monsieur, you were the one who called Detective Bad into lobby number 1. You saw him bring Detective Gumshoe into the hallway. Is that correct? All of today's premeditated events could only have been brought up by you, Monsieur. You accused me of murder on the fact I spilled a little perfume. Well, allow me to say this much. I couldn't have killed Mr. Faraday. You care to testify as to why? Look, I've had a lot of fun today, really. But I grow weary of this game of cat and mouse. Let's make this the last testimony and wrap up this absurd case once and for all. Accusing someone of murder over a spilled bottle of perfume is a bit over the top. I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected as a disciple of Bon Karma. In any case, it simply could not have been me who killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know what the knife that was used to kill him came from. Miles, her testimony is flawless. Yes, but no matter what sort of trick she may try to pull, she won't escape me. If I'm lacking information, I'll just draw it out of her. I want to see what the dialogue for pressing here is, because I want to see Franziska get pissed. I formally request that you desist your attacks against my mentor. Yes, or we'll sue you for defamation. All I'm doing is telling the truth. Well, maybe more like spreading gossip. Although, your adamant denials are, shall we say, just adding fuel to the fire. How dare you say such a thing? Calm down, little girl. Don't let her get to you. Aw, why did you have to ruin my fun? Shall we continue? All I don't even know where the knife that was used to kill him came from. At this rate, she will inevitably escape. But she really was the one who killed Mr. Faraday, and she must have known about the existence of the knife. I'm sorry, Monsieur. Maybe you weren't aware. However, the knife that we used to kill Mr. Faraday was taken from his evidence bag. Miles, what do you think you're doing? I'm drawing the truth out of her, that's what I'm doing. Huh? But I don't recall a knife being presented at the trial earlier today. Well, I suppose that's because the evidence was something Mr. Faraday had yet to use. Ah, so that's what you're trying to do. Look, why don't you cut it out with the lies? I've already figured you out. There was no knife inside Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. The only evidence he had yet to present was the key the Yatagarasu sent. Unless a key can magically turn into a knife, you really don't have a leg to stand on. Did you really think you could trap me? Come now, be honest. I never intended to do such a thing. It was all a misunderstanding on my part.
In any case, I wonder if you might append what you just said to your testimony?
Sure. Why not? I'll even say as many times as you'd like. Oh, you can.
It's you? I wonder if you might take a look at this photo. It's a picture of the key the Yatagarasu sent to the police. However, while it may look like a key at first glance, in fact has a secret ability to transform into a knife. Which means that what was inside Mr. Faraday's bag was both the Yatagarasu's key and the murderous knife. You knew that the key was inside Mr. Faraday's bag, did you not? Yes. Well, with the Yatagarasu's key alone, it's more than possible to kill Mr. Faraday. Do you understand now? Just knowing of the existence of the Yatagarasu's key.
I still haven't had a good look at it. Showing it to me from that far away, you could be lying for all I know.
You would, even now, still feign ignorance.
I'm not feigning anything! But we can't have you accusing me of a crime with false evidence, now can we? I mean, Mr. Von Karma,
I've heard some very interesting rumors about her.
Are you mocking my papa?
Don't you dare sully the good name of my mentor. Now take a good look. This piece of evidence is more than real.
Wow, who knew there was such a trick to this thing?
You satisfied now? But of course, you knew from the very beginning, didn't you? You knew that the knife and the Yatagarasu's key are the same. And otherwise, someone like you, who isn't a member of law enforcement and who would never have been privy to this trick, would never have known about it to begin with. Furthermore, there's something that the Yatagarasu sent to the police. How did you have knowledge as to what it was?
Actually, I heard it from Mr. Faraday. Just before he dragged Mr. Rell off, he told me. Oh, that's right, I almost forgot. He also told me about the key turning into a knife at that time, but he didn't tell me about how the key actually transforms.
What you're saying is simply not possible.
Oh, and why not?
Because Mr. Faraday himself didn't know about the hidden knife within the key. But within these pages, he mentions nothing about the knife.
I'm not sure he would have written everything in his organizer, you know? Wouldn't something of this importance be better left to oral communication?
Unfortunately, this is also impossible, because Detective Bad didn't know about the knife aspect either. What would have been highly classified information even within the police force, and is something that even the lead detective on the case didn't know. Why would Mr. Faraday have felt the need to share such information with the opposition?
Yeah, I guess he wouldn't have much of a reason to. Looks like I gave a pretty lame excuse, huh?
How can you laugh at a time like this?
You probably just realized the flaw in the logic and is probably in a panic over it. That's not something we need to concern ourselves with.
I suppose you're right. It's you? I'd like to state that I also know that you know how you know the real nature of the knife.
Do you know? Well, why don't you put your money where your mouth is and show me?
Oh, I will, and I'll wipe that smile off your face by the time we're through. This is it, the moment of truth. Secret behind the Yatagarasu's key. Only one person would have had knowledge of it from the get-go. Who would know from the start that the Yatagarasu's key could change into a knife?
Take that!
There's only one person who would have known about the dual nature of the key.
And that is?
And that is the person who sent the Yatagarasu's key to the police. Is to say, the Yatagarasu herself.
Are you saying that this lawyer is a great thief, Yatagarasu?
Monsieur, you used Mr. Rell to lure Mr. Faraday into a trap, didn't you? You, who profess to bear a grudge against criminals, why? Why do something like this?
Who would have thought that you A stupid rookie prosecutor would see through me. You're sending the biggest chill down my spine right now, Edgeworth. This feeling of thrill, it's even greater than when I sneak into someplace.
You killed Faraday? Why? Answer me, Callisto you.
Callisto you, huh? That's not my real name. My real identity is, yes, the great thief Yatagarasu. Let me tell you something, Edgeworth. Mr. Faraday was one difficult man to deal with. For you see, he had discovered my true identity, which is why I had to erase him from the world of law. I made Rel an offer, an acquittal for a little favor in return. All I had to do was accuse Mr. Faraday of being the Yatagarasu in court. Once we entered the recess, Rel was dragged off by Mr. Faraday, which threw my plan into a complete mess. I chased after him and eavesdropped on him through a crack in the door. That Rel caves to only two things, money and authority, just as all thugs do. I feared my plan was going to be ruined if Mr. Faraday held on to Rel any longer. Plus, if I had let them continue on the way they were, I would have been found out. That's why I had no choice. I had to kill them both.
Didn't you say that you despised criminals?
But do I really?
Have you forgotten about the KG8 incident too?
Maybe.
What sort of woman would... So, then, was it your plan to kill Mr. Faraday with the very evidence you sent?
Well, I had a good idea of what Mr. Faraday was going to do. I anticipated that Mr. Faraday was going to prove that Rel wasn't the Yatagarasu, by using this Yatagarasu's key as evidence that he would bring it with him. Which is why I thought to use the knife portion. The weapon as well disguised as this, no one would be the wiser. But who in their right mind would think something like this could be a weapon? I casually entered lobby number 2 on the pretext that I had to talk with Mr. Faraday. In order to get in with him, I pretended to be worried about something. He then let me hold the Yatagarasu's key, just like that. Never noticed that I changed the key into a knife inside that plastic bag. And he didn't have the chance to take note of the knife that took his life.
How could you kill him?
I knew him for a long time, you know? At the very least, I thought to give him a quick and painless death. If you killed Mr. Faraday first, there was no need for you to kill Mr. Rel as well. I believe I mentioned why when we were playing Detective Gumshoe under arrest. Something about having accidentally created an eyewitness. And how that led the killer to think about setting them up as though they'd killed each other. Trick with the surveillance tape. Yes, I hadn't actually planned to use a gun. The risk was too high that I'd be caught. However, that's when I remembered the existence of that surveillance tape. Which is why I had Rel help me set up the crime scene. And after all was said and done, I rewarded him for all his hard work with a bullet.
You're a defense attorney, aren't you? How could you betray a client?
Client? We want to talk about who was a client of who's first. It was me. I was the client in the murder of the Kodopian embassy staff member, Dead Man.
You ordered a hit job?
You still haven't figured it out, Mr. Bad? I had Dead Man killed because he was about to give away information about the smuggling ring. Now, who exactly do you think would benefit from such an assassination?
It can't be. You're...
That's right. I'm a member of the smuggling ring.
What? How could this... You don't mean you're working with Manny Cochin too, do you?
Maybe, maybe not. Guess you'll never know.
Dr. Garasu claims to be noble, but you're just another cold-blooded murderer.
That's right, little girl. The Yatagarasu is just another killer.
Be quiet, you. Yatagarasu. You can run from the law, but you'll never escape it. So just humbly accept the judgment of this court.
Hey, Edgeworth, do you know Yatagarasu has 3 legs? Do you know why that is? No? Well, let me tell you. It means that the Yatagarasu has more than one razor-sharp way to do her work.
Oh shit, okay. Okay.
You know, when I first heard of Ace Attorney, I always wondered, man, what if someone just pulled a gun in the courtroom and started blasting? You really are too naive, Edgeworth. You even handed the Autograsser's key right to me without a second thought. Everything may not have gone according to plan, but I'll still gladly take it. You mean the key was your real target? And even after I gave you such a great advice, didn't I tell you to always keep a good eye on a criminal? Well, you may regret what comes because of your negligence. You two, get down! My body, I can't move. Hey, mister, to your right! You! You all right, Franziska? I'm perfectly fine, Miles. Voice is shaking, but it looks like she's unharmed. Where did Kay go? That's a gunshot. As high stakes as this is, ad break has come up. We're gonna take a little bit of a moment. Maybe let you kill Bad, which is gonna suck, but y'all, this is a great moment to get some drinks, get some water, post about how much you hate you online or in the chat. And yeah. With all that being said, bye for now. Howdy, howdy, everybody. Welcome back. Hope y'all had a good break. Hope y'all got done what need to get done. Let's go see Bad's corpse. Oh, God. Oh, thank God he's alive. Yay.
Sorry, but it looks like she got away. Called the precinct. They should have a perimeter set up soon. Detective Bad, are you alright? I heard a gunshot. I'm okay. Just got another hole in my jacket. May say he's fine, but he looks quite shaken.
They actually had another hole to his jacket. I think I see one right there.
But more importantly, boy, I mean, Mr. Edgeworth is Von Karma. Are you too hurt?
I'm absolutely fine.
I'm also alright, thanks to Kay. Speaking of Kay, where is she? I don't know. She just sort of disappeared. I'll go look for her. Oh, and hey, Detective Gumshoe.
Yes, sir. Detective Bad, sir.
I'm sorry I doubted you.
Don't worry, sir. It's not your fault. Well, I lied to you guys, too, after all.
I heard about what happened from Kay. Lying while giving testimony is still unforgivable. But in this case, you were protecting Kay and her feelings. Looks like you just might have what it takes to be a real detective. But don't you ever lose that detective spirit, okay?
You got it, Pops. Pops. Pops, watched one too many detective dramas recently, have we?
Need to single-handedly destroy the cheery atmosphere with one snarky comment. I should get back to the investigation. I swear, I'll catch you if it's the last thing I do. Careful, Detective Bad, and take care. Thanks.
That's right, never upset the kids, exactly. Everything is legal if it's to protect a child's feelings. At least a good child. If it's a bad child, you ground them.
Well, I'm off. Maybe we'll run into each other again someday.
He phased through my arm, sir. Thanks a bunch, pal. You're the best. You really did find out the truth behind everything.
Yes, well, I'm glad we solved everything before you were taken to prison. I can't believe how much trouble I caused you with my testimony, Detective Gumshoe.
It was no problem, really. I mean, I lied too, so I didn't help anything. It's not really your fault, Anna. Well, even if we didn't have his honest testimony, I think that lawyer would have found another way to get you convicted on her behalf. Yeah, I can't believe I was about to get fired during my first week as a detective.
Well, so long as you're not fired. Work hard. Give all the duties you have and perform your duties well. Oh, and one more thing. Kay left a present for you with.
She did? Oh, what is it?
What was it that Kay left for me? With proof of their friendship?
Take that! It's a courthouse special Swiss roll. Can I really have it?
Yes, it's a present meant for you, after all.
Thanks a bunch. You have no idea how happy this makes me, pal. I'm gonna eat this right now.
Sure, go ahead. Swiss rolls Detective Gumshoe and Kay bought together. Now the one Kay saved never reached her father. It would appear that her sentiments have touched the heart of this detective.
He's so happy, it's as though he's having a welcome back celebration of his own.
Well, I was asked by Kay to give it to you.
Oh, that was good, pal. I can't believe I got to eat 2 of these delicious things in one day. It's like I'm in Swiss roll paradise or something. I gotta thank Kay myself. Hey, wait, where is she?
Only just noticed just now. Was his mind not present when we discussed her earlier? Detective Bad left to go search for her earlier. Maybe you should go join him.
Yeah, you betcha, pal. I'm gonna go help him. Oh, but first. You know what, pal? Actually, I guess I shouldn't be so rude to you anymore, huh? I'm gonna stick right by your side from now on, Mr. Edgeworth, sir.
I sense nothing but a most troublesome relationship from that ominous statement.
We should go home too, Miles. We have to hurry and report what has happened to Papa.
Agreed. Well, I'm afraid we must be going now, Detective.
Roger, sir, and don't you worry. I'll investigate the next case we're on real well.
I'll, be counting on you. Scent of trouble is definitely in the air. Thus, like a bad dream, my first outing at court came to a disturbing end. A few months later, finally able to properly stand in court as a prosecutor. The detective in charge of the investigation was, as I dreaded, Detective Gumshoe. With that, he became my direct subordinate. I have tried, but words fail to describe the immeasurable suffering he has caused me. I suppose that's just how things are. As for the little girl who suddenly disappeared, now...
So, do you remember now?
Yes, I remember everything. I stood here the entire time, for several hours, just remembering every detail of this case. Kay. Been a while.
Yay! You sure grew up a lot. Of course, but thank goodness. I thought you two had totally forgotten about me. You know, I was really worried about you after all that. Where have you been all this time? I mean, I didn't know you cared. After my father died, I went to go live with my mother's relatives.
You took quite a lot of time to clean up that thing.
Yeah. They lived really far away, so I really wasn't able to come back here all that much. Oh, is that what happened? Well, I'm just glad you're all right. So, does it all make sense now? You betcha it does. Oh, you know what? I was going through my father's bookshelves recently, and...
Actually, there are still a number of things that don't make sense, Kay.
Huh?
First of all, why did you come all this way to see me? And second, why are you calling yourself the Yatagarasu? Yatagarasu is Callisto Yu, the woman who killed your father.
No, you're wrong. The real Yatagarasu was my father. But Mr. Faraday was the Yatagarasu. Like I said, I was going through my father's bookshelf recently, and I found a secret diary hidden among his books. I have no regrets in choosing to walk the path of the Yatagarasu. That was written in his diary, and that's how I know for sure.
But that's impossible!
What's with that look? You don't believe me?
It wasn't just the expression on my face that clearly said it was impossible just now.
Alright, then how do you explain this?
It's a way of disarming any security system of the user's choosing.
Yep, that's Little Thief. Truth be told, this is the Yatagarasu's greatest secret. This little gizmo was used by my father. Wow, Mr. Faraday wasn't such a great prosecutor. He was a really great thief, huh? Yeah, my father worked really hard to steal the truth. But he was killed, and the Yatagarasu was no more. Despite that, the Yatagarasu has been spotted again recently.
Someone other than you?
Here, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a look at this article.
The Yatagarasu sent the embassy a calling card?
Yeah, meaning this person's a fake. I'm almost certain that Callisto Yu lady is behind this. Because the real Yatagarasu would never send something out like a gaudy card out.
The Yatagarasu did send a white card along with anything to be publicized. That's what Detective Bad told me 7 years ago, if memory serves.
Well, as soon as I heard the news, I got all wound up and knew I couldn't just let it go. So I searched you out, so that I could obtain the truth behind the Yatagarasu. Because if anyone can help me find it, I figured it's you, Mr. Edgeworth.
So you're saying that I have your father and Mrs. Yu's identity back?
Yes, because the real Yatagarasu is noble to the end. And I want to revive the real noble Yatagarasu. If I don't, my father will never be able to rest in peace. Hey, you're so honorable. I don't care what anyone else says. I'll always be here to cheer you on, pal.
Even if you are honorable, a thief is a thief. If you are plotting to commit a crime, then I'm afraid I can't be complicit.
Mr. Edgeworth. You guys are not making it easy for me. Who am I supposed to support now? Mr. Edgeworth? What I want from you is not to steal something. What I want is the arrest of that evil woman. That evil woman? You mean Callisto Yu? I think it's too hard for me to catch her all by myself. But I thought that since you were able to expose her for who she is, then maybe... Please, Mr. Edgeworth, won't you help me?
Come to think of it, I do believe I owe you.
Huh? Owe me for what?
Miss Yu made her escape. It was you who saved my life. Furthermore, you helped me with the investigation. I'm not so rude as to leave favors unrepaid.
Then you mean...
Yes. That case has been weighing down on my soul ever since that fateful day. Perhaps the time has come to settle things once and for all. If you don't intend to sully your hands in a crime, then I believe I can help you.
Mr. Edgeworth, thank you. Yay, Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Isn't this great, Kay? Yeah, it sure is, Gummy.
Even though we had completely forgotten about her until just now.
Adopting Kay, exactly.
Ugh, what is with that chummy relationship? Great thief Yatagarasu. For all that time, the true identity of the thief sank back into the darkness. Ern Faraday, Callisto Yu, and Kay Faraday.
Fuck you, Edgeworth. The phantasmagorically changing identity of the great thief
Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu's real goal would all come to light the day after I made that promise to Kay.
That. Another one done. Burn about ablaze. Save button. And with that, oh boy, I sure hope Case 5 lives up, man. I hope so too. But I feel like it's not going to. Go ahead, turn music back on. Alright, let's go ahead and let's go back to chatting. And click the wrong thing, I promise. Alrighty. Let's find someone to raid. I think I know who will hit up if they're on. They are not. Oh, well, that's a fitting raid to go into. That's a very fitting raid to go into. Somehow, Circuit, I feel like you're responsible for him playing this right now, because we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna raid Lunar, because he's playing Phoenix Wright versus Professor Layton today. So I think that's a good place to go. I am not actually. X'd out on that one, buddy. X'd out. Alrighty, so we're gonna hit him up. And as for what's going on for the rest of the day, because later on, in a couple hours, about an hour and a half, I'm going to be on Dead Sun's channel. If y'all don't know who Dead Sun is, well, let me go ahead, get this going real quick. There we go. So y'all go follow him and get ready in preparation for that later tonight. We're just going to be chilling. We're just going to be doing art together. The same place, shooting the shit. Same thing I usually do on Thursdays, just we did it on Wednesday because that was all I would work with our schedules. But yeah, as for tomorrow, it's just gonna, I couldn't think of anything to play. I'm pulling back out the Dream Buffet. I'm pulling back out the Dream Buffet for a bit, and we're gonna see how that goes. Just fuck around for a little bit and do dumb shit. But yeah, hope y'all had a good time. Hope I was entertaining. Hope y'all enjoyed the last of this case. Hope y'all have a great day, night, afternoon, wherever y'all are. Whatever the fuck y'all are doing. And y'all have a good one.